So I was listening to something the other day, and they were talking about how it's that time where before we step into a new year, we need to clean out our closets, our inboxes, and our paperwork. And I thought, but what about the emotional clutter we've been dragging around? Today, we're talking about how to declutter your heart so you can walk into 2026 lighter, clearer, and wide open to the good that's waiting for you. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Psychically Speaking with Lisa Ann, the place where intuition meets real life truth with just the right dash of sass. I'm your host, Lisa Ann, psychic medium, healer, coach, and your guide for healing, clarity, and soul-aligned living. Today, we're talking about something powerful, something we don't usually think about when we're getting ready for a new year. We clean out our homes, our desks, our inboxes, but what about the emotional clutter? What about the hurts, disappointments, expectations, and heartbreaks we neatly packed away but never actually dealt with? This episode is all about decluttering your heart so you can start 2026 feeling mentally free, emotionally lighter, and most importantly, spiritually aligned. As the end of the year approaches, most people begin organizing their physical world, cleaning closets, deleting old emails, purging paperwork, reorganizing homes, planning for new goals, redoing their dream or their vision boards. But rarely, if ever, do we stop and ask ourselves, what emotional clutter am I carrying that does not belong in the new year? We declutter our spaces, but we don't declutter our hearts. The heart holds on to everything: old conversations, unmet expectations, disappointments, people who left, opportunities we've lost, stories that we play over and over and over. You cannot step into a new chapter if you're dragging the weight of an old one behind you. So today, let's walk through 5 ways to declutter your heart and heal hurt and disappointment. First, we need to begin by acknowledging what hurt you. We need to stop pretending that we're fine, because emotional clutter begins when we shove things down. When you say, it's fine, it doesn't matter, I'm over it, but your heart is still carrying it like a bruise. Take a moment to take a deep breath and identify the emotional sticky notes you've been holding on to. Remember, awareness is the first step to clearing space. Next, we need to release the story, but not the lesson. Every hurt has a story that you've been repeating. But here's the truth. You don't need the story anymore. You only need the lesson. You need to release the narrative and keep the wisdom. That is truly how you grow without dragging the pain with you into the next year. Next, you need to reframe what you wanted into what you needed. Hurt often comes from unmet expectations. Reframing shifts the energy from "this didn't happen for me" to "this redirected me towards what will." When you understand the redirection, the disappointment loses its power. Next, forgive yourself for what you didn't know then. This is a huge one. Most emotional clutter is actually self-blame in disguise. Forgiveness isn't about approving what happened. It's about freeing yourself from it. Try saying this: I release the version of me who didn't know what I know now. Remember, that version of you did your best. And finally, create a heart reset ritual for the new year. Make emotional decluttering a sacred practice. Here's a simple ritual. Light a candle and put your hand over your heart. Speak out loud what you are releasing. Visualize the energy leaving your body and replace it with a feeling of peace. Remember to end with gratitude, because after all, your heart deserves a fresh start too. Now, as you prepare for 2026, remember this: you don't need a lighter schedule, you need a lighter heart. Decluttering the stories, the resentments, the disappointments, the emotional debris. Make room for the love, the peace, the opportunities, and the people who are meant to find you in the new year. Your heart is your home. Let it feel fresh and opened and ready for new beginnings. Thank you, beautiful souls, for joining me today on Psychically Speaking. If this episode resonated with you, be sure to subscribe. I would love it if you would leave a review or share it with someone who needs a little heart decluttering of their own. And remember, every week there's a new episode. And I want to remind you to join us for Psychically Speaking Live, held every Tuesday night via Zoom. For more information, visit spiritquestnc.com. That's spiritquestnc.com. Until next time, keep listening to your soul, trusting your intuition, and being the light.